welcome to my channel. I'm Josie. Now this is my second channel and it's called Josie Cares. Now today I'm going to do kind of a follow-up with the video I did a long time ago, Life After Being a Widow. That video has had more hits than any video that I've produced on either one of my channels. My reason for doing this update, I've had quite a bit of requests. And I've had people who have just recently lost a mate. So I thought, it's time I do something. And also, excuse me, had a lady who, I think it's been a couple of months now. She didn't agree with me on a fact that it's just as hard in a divorce as it is a death, but I'll get to that. First of all, the disclaimer, I don't profess to know it all. This is based on my personal life, my medical background, and a lot of research. I do a lot of research on these subjects that I do videos on. Also, if you get offended easily, please don't watch this. I believe in the Lord Jesus, and if you don't believe or you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. I totally understand. I'm not going to be judgmental, but I just want to warn you ahead of time. Plus, like I said, the disclaimer, if you feel like you can't cope with your situation after, say, 3 months, please get professional help. Now, I will be looking at a lot of notes. Now, I started a book on grieving probably 25 years ago, and I've never finished it, and I should finish it. I have about 45 pages, and I need to do it. For some reason, life just got busy, and I didn't. But anyway, as far as this, I decided, in fact, this person, she removed her comment. I did print it, and it's fine. You can disagree. I think when you're in the midst of grieving for a loss, you don't see logic. You don't see beyond. And I have brought some statements that, in my research, and I will read them. There was one, excuse me for, I've got a million notes. Well, before I get to that, let's see, I'm jumping around and I shouldn't. I'm going to go through the 5 stages of grieving. And actually, I have a paper that someone created 7 stages, but let's concentrate on the 5. The first is denial. Then anger. Number 3, bargaining and attempting to bargain with God. And, we've all been there. Depression or overwhelming feeling. And then finally, acceptance. And you have to realize that sometimes you go through those stages over and over, many times. You might go through them 3 or 4 times, and then finally you get to the acceptance. So let's get to one thing that I thought was really important. And before I forget, I'm not only speaking about losing a spouse. I lost a child from muscular dystrophy. She was 9 years old. And I've talked to many people who have lost children. There's no greater loss in this world than a child. And I know there's probably somebody who just lost a husband who's thinking, well, she doesn't understand. Yeah. I've lost a husband of cancer. I've been divorced. I lost a child. And naturally at my age, I've lost parents. Everyone loses someone. It's, we're not exempt. But also, I won't go through them all, but there's 19 worst things you can say to a grieving person. One of them, and I will read the list here. How are you doing? Okay, analyze that. How is that person going to, you should know how they're doing. They're feeling alone and lost. Like they can't see tomorrow. When you lose a loved one, you don't see tomorrow. You only see the hurt of today. And don't ever let anyone tell you, well, oh, get over it. That's bad. Second, you'll be okay after a while. You don't say that to someone who's, say, just lost a child, lost their husband, lost their wife. You don't say that. I understand how you feel. No one understands how you feel. I don't care if you lost, say, a spouse. You don't know how that other person feels. You don't know about their relationship. You can't say you understand how they feel. That's hurtful. You shouldn't feel that way. Okay. Do you want someone to become defensive? I would. Somebody told me, hey, you shouldn't feel that way. Stop crying. Crying is good. You get the emotions out. I always say crying cleanses the soul. At least he's in a better place. He's not suffering. His suffering is over. Don't say that either. You don't actually know where that person is. Believe me, there is heaven and hell. At least she lived a long time. Many people die young. That's not what you say either. No matter how many years somebody lives. Yes, we're always really, I think it hits a person harder when you hear of a young person dying. But the person who's lost a loved one, they don't think that way, It's, now being a nurse, I think that helps you because at least the nursing that I was in, I worked in a hospital and I worked in nursing homes. You're with people who are dying, and when you see people suffer, my feeling is I wouldn't want my loved ones to suffer. But say someone who the first time they were exposed to death, they don't understand that. And it's not your time and place to try to teach them. And this one, she brought it on herself. You don't say that. Somebody might have been on drugs and yeah, they brought it on themselves, but you don't say that. Say they lost a child, they love that child no matter what that child has done. They still love that child. Aren't you over him yet? He's been dead for a while now. Wow. Have any of you out there ever said this to anyone? There's a reason for everything. God's in charge. We know that. She was such a good person. God wanted her to be with him. Just give it time. Time heals. Time does not heal. Taking the right steps heals. Yes. You're young. You can still have children. No child I don't care how many children you have, no child will replace the one that you lost. Please don't ever say this stuff to people. You'll do better next time you love. It was just a dog or a cat. You can get another one. Stay busy. Don't think about it. You have to be strong for your spouse, children, mother, etc. Wow. How about that? Think about this. If somebody approached you, your friends, your relatives, and said those things to you, how would you feel? They're actually putting more stress on you instead of comforting you. How very sad. Now, these are some things that you should say, or maybe would be appropriate. I'm so sorry for your loss. I wish I had the right words. Please know I care and I'm here for you. I can't imagine how you feel. Then be quiet and let them tell you about their feelings. I can't imagine how you feel when I can't imagine how you feel. When I lost my father, I felt. Then listen without judgment or criticism. I'm here for you. Better yet, if there's something specific they need, ask if you can. Do it for them. And I just messed that one up, sorry. When you offer help, don't just offer help. Don't make it just words. Actually plan on doing it. It's like many years ago, I had a neighbor who had just lost her husband. And I waited about a month because, when you lose somebody, everyone will contact you or, they'll call you, they'll check on you. And all of a sudden, especially after the funeral and everything, everyone disappears. So when my neighbor lost her husband, I thought, okay, I'm not going to send flowers. They just wilt and die. I went next door and I visited with her a little bit and said, how about if I take you out to lunch? And actually, we made it kind of a tradition. About once a month, we would go out to lunch. And these are the things that really help. And I remember in losing, like I said, a child and a husband, people do disappear after. Now, when I lost my husband, I had a very close, active church family, and they were there for me. But think about the things that you can do to help the person, not to make them feel worse than they already do. Then you can ask, can I go to the funeral? This is good support. Want to talk about what happened. If that person, many people avoid that question, it says here. And I can say something about, I've had people say to me, now my daughter died in 1969, so a long time ago. But I've had people say, oh, does it bother you to talk about her? I'm proud to talk about her. In fact, if you know anything about me, I do 2 memorial videos are on her birthday and the day she died, twice a year. I'm proud to talk about her. I've got pictures all over my apartment. I've always kept her memory alive. I don't understand why, maybe it's if you lost somebody in a tragic accident, yeah, they don't want to talk about the details, but to talk about that person and keep their memory alive, that's important. So, don't ask that question. I mean, when I was asked that, I fired back with, I talk about her all the time. I was proud of my little girl. Let's see. Just be present. Share a memory about that person who's gone. Be empathetic. It's okay for you to show your feelings. Continuing connecting after a few months with that person. If you're a real friend, especially if you're a close friend, just be there for them. Words don't always help. Actions do. Anyway, this person who made a comment in my video totally disagreed that divorces, it wasn't the same feeling. Yes, it is. When you get a divorce, even if you wanted a divorce, you have a complete adjustment. You go through the grieving stages. If you're having problems in a marriage, a lot of people start off with denial. They don't want to face the facts that they have problems, and then they become very angry. So after your divorce, you go through, people even look at you different, think of you, especially when I got my divorce. I lived in a very small town, and I was kind of just pushed aside. And I won't go into details, but my in-laws people thought they had a lot of money, and that made the difference. And I even had people say, well, we're friends with both of you, but we're going to choose one, and because of the family name, and they thought the family had money, they chose my ex-husband. And it was so stupid because I actually remained friends with my ex-husband and his family. Our divorce was mainly, I wanted it after my daughter's death, and I won't go into all the details on that. I didn't have any backing. Everybody went into denial. And that's why I'm so adamant about being a realist. I mean, if you know anything about me, I hate denial, and I'm a realist. I want to know. It's not losing hope and faith. It's facing the truth that the family didn't believe my daughter was going to die. And when I discussed this with the doctor, he was furious. She had muscular dystrophy. You could look at her and know that she was ill. So the word denial to me, I hate it. I'm sorry, but I hate it. I'm a realist. Look at the situation and prepare yourself. When you go into denial, you don't prepare yourself, and then you go into shock after. But anyway, to get back, this is what caused my divorce. And I have to say, my ex was a very nice man, and he didn't want to divorce. And I'll bring this up, and he just passed away, and I've grieved for him. He was a good man. Didn't have a mean bone in his body. But sometimes divorces, and I have a paper that talks about the percent of divorces when you lose a child. Sometimes it either makes your marriage stronger or you end up falling apart. So that's a lot of my personality as far as I don't go into denial. I'm a realist, and I preach that a lot. But anyway, it is hard, especially and another recommendation, and I see a lot of the older generation, and I'm talking about, I'm old by the way, but say my parents. The man took care of everything. He paid the bills, he knew where the money was. Don't allow that. Say your husband dies, you don't even know how much money you have. You don't even know how to pay the bills. It should be 50-50 to make decisions and to know what's going on. That's, I think, women go through, a lot of the older women go through really hard times because they don't know their financial situation. So they're not only grieving and mourning for their spouse, they don't even know how they're going to survive. So please, be proactive. Be proactive in your life. Don't just think, okay, my husband takes care of everything. No. You sit down and you know what you owe, what you have. That will help your grieving a lot easier. In my situation, when my husband died, I took care of all of that because he didn't want to. But, and he's been dead since 2001. So I didn't have, problems in that area because, like I said, I took care of all the bills anyway. Let's see, another thing, and I will get on to no particular religion, my beliefs. I believe in the Lord Jesus. He's my Lord and Savior. I believe in heaven and hell. I believe in the Bible. My husband, when he was diagnosed with cancer, and we were very active in church, he read the Bible all the time. In fact, I know the Bible, but I don't read every single page. And the man read the Bible at least 3 complete times, every single page. And that helped him get through his ordeal, his suffering. He was on hospice for 3 months before he died. We had a hospital bed in the living room, and I slept on an air mattress because he didn't want to be alone, and which was really difficult after 3 months sleeping on an air mattress on the floor. But when he passed away, I knew I had given him 100%. And so that was another thing. Live each day. A wise doctor told me about my daughter's doctor before she died. Months before she died, he told me, he said, live each day like it's her last day and you'll never have any regrets. No matter what she wants, if she wants a milkshake instead of dinner, make her a milkshake. Food's not going to keep her alive with muscular dystrophy. And so that was really wise because I thought about that, when my husband was sick. Anyway, what I'd like to get across to everyone who is grieving right now, I'm in a situation, I'm fine. I am sad that my first husband just passed away. He's the father of my 3 kids. And I have a special love for him in my heart. And one thing that helped me, I know he took the Lord as his Lord and Savior, and he's now with my daughter. And that really helped me, and it is helping me. And like I said, I'm very, very proud that even with the divorce, my younger son had a wonderful relationship with his dad. You go through a divorce, I know it's hard, especially some divorces are very, very messy. Don't make your children take sides. It's still their parent. your problems, keep it with the adults. Don't tarnish your kids, because it will live with them the rest of their life. And let me check and see if I missed something. Another thing, do not, after someone passes away, I know it's hard, especially at first, but after you get over the initial shock and you know, a few months go by, don't isolate yourself. If you have a job, go back to work as soon as possible. Volunteer. If you're at the age where you no longer work, volunteer. Do something. Isolation is the worst thing for you. And it's kind of sad because with social media and, you know, all our electronics, even our younger generation has become antisocial, really. They don't know how to socialize. But get out, and there's a lot of good places to volunteer where you're helping people. That there was something here I wanted to read, that when a person has just lost someone, they're not in the space, they don't consider tomorrow, let alone the future, especially without a child or without their spouse. You can't, I want to emphasize, you can't tell them it's going to be better tomorrow. They're not in that space. They're in that little, there's like a tunnel that they're overwhelmed. And I've always said, when you close your door at night, you know, during the day, you might get phone calls and everybody's got advice. They have their own family, their own life. But at night, when you close your doors, you're all by yourself. Nobody really cares. I'm sorry, but they went on with their life. Don't let anyone tell you to how long you should grieve. There's no time limit on grieving. I think eventually, yeah, like I recommend, if you feel like you can't get over it alone and you go into depression, get professional help. Because I'd say for me, the first year was the hardest, especially with my daughter. The first year was kind of like a blur. With my husband that died of cancer, especially being a nurse, I knew I was going to lose him. So I enjoyed each day while he was able. We went places. I tried to, like I said, I gave him 100%. Excuse me. I have terrible allergies, so I cough in my videos. Sorry about that. But I lived each day to the fullest. I didn't say, oh, well, you know, and not that I didn't have hope and faith, but see, in my beliefs, I believe that we all have a certain amount of time on this earth. And when our time is up, when we've done what we're supposed to, that's why we were created, God takes us home. So that's just I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anyone. I'll just let you know that, and the people I watched that passed away, or families dealing with it, the ones that are believers had a much easier time than non-believers. So for that person who thinks divorce is are not the same. Actually, in one way, they're harder. And I'll tell you why. Especially, like I said, not so much in my case because we didn't have this raging, fighting divorce, and we in time became friends. But if you have children with your spouse, even when you divorce them, sometimes it's never over. Some divorces, they're fighting over child support, or it's never over. Your stress is always there. When somebody dies, basically it's over. So I'm sad for this person who, and I know she was grieving, and I'm not criticizing that. If she's watching this, please don't misunderstand. I know she unsubbed though. When someone is ill, I look at it this way. When someone is ill and you're watching them suffer and they're in pain and the morphine or whatever is prescribed is not helping them, that is worse. I've always said real love is willing to let go. And I have to say, when I was a nurse, I'm retired now, and when I was a nurse, I never gave my personal feelings. It is not professional to do that, or my religious beliefs. But with one family, all I said, they were having a hard time dealing with their mom dying, and she was very old. And I said to them, just visualize yourself in that bed right now, suffering. And they understood what I said. And they seemed a little bit better. If you really love, sometimes you have to let go. So I hope that this helps at least one person, and this is really why I have my second channel. I have not tried to grow the channel. I don't do videos that often, but I want to help someone. Like I said, base it, a lot of this on the book I haven't finished, and I hope before I leave this world, maybe I'll get it finished. I don't have that much more to do to it, actually. It just needs to be rewritten. But grieving is difficult. And if you live long enough in this world, you're going to lose a loved one. How you deal with it. Think about how would they want you to deal with it. Yes, you miss them. It's horrible. I'll use for an example with my daughter. She'd have been 63 years old if she was alive today. And I think, I wonder who she would have married, and would I had more grandkids, and I know some of the adults that she went to school with, and I look at their life. What would my daughter's life been? So yes, you miss them. You never get over that. But you need to go on living your life. That's what they would want for you. They don't want you to give up. They want you to live. And so I wish you the best. And once in a while I get this comment from a guy or so. I'm not mourning, by the way. I've accepted all the losses in my life. I love life. I enjoy it. I make the best of it. And I don't do these videos to get sympathy. I know a lot of people need some encouragement. And I have also seen a couple of cases that people have let me know that they went on with their life, actually found a new relationship. So don't let somebody tell you, okay, you didn't grieve long enough. You need to grieve so many years. No, you don't. You listen to your heart. What do you feel? When you go on and you have a new relationship, it doesn't mean you loved your deceased spouse less. Maybe if you had a good relationship, you wanted another relationship. It's up to you, not anyone else. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty. Now, if you don't ever want a new relationship, hey, that's fine too. That is up to you. What I'm trying to say, there's no set grieving time like they used to say, a year or 2 or 5 or, there is no set time. It's what you feel right with. So I'm going to end this video, and like I said, my purpose in this channel is I bring up different subjects. If I can help one person, that's all I care about. Thanks everyone, and God bless you.